Hey everyone, hope you can hear me okay. I'm about to dual broadcast with the Essentials Room, so give me a minute. So give me 1 second in here. So basically, I want to go over support and resistance. I'm waiting to be able to do the Essentials Room, but luckily, one of them we did today, support and resistance, it worked great. So I want to show you what we did. Just give me 1 second. So, good afternoon, Essentials Room. I'm dual broadcasting with the Restream YouTube Room. So, just to let you know, I'm going over support and resistance. But I want to tell you, I've been doing this 43 years. Every day, conditions change. So, one day I might do one thing, one day I might do another. And that's why you need me is to try to find those kind of things. So, what do I mean by that? Well, today, we're still looking at wheat. We're looking at support zones. We're looking at resistance zones. And then I just can't stress enough because I hear all these other people on the internet talking about demand zones. You don't screw around with demand zones until you see a reversal pattern followed by a consolidation pattern. This is an hourly chart of wheat. You see that? It got over the ATR trailing stop. I use the ATR trailing stop a lot. I just don't use a 21 moving average or anything like that. If except if something moves a lot, I'll use it as my stop. So I'm going to make this blue just so you get an idea of what I use. These are all readily available on Thinkorswim. There you go. If you went on and got over that, you're screwed. The idea is after a protracted down move, the first move over the ATR trailing stop is going to create an overbought condition. It's how it works off the overbought. But after the first cross, I never trust it, hardly ever. You have to see how it works off the overbought condition. You see, it worked it off bad. So that's number one. Number two, how do we make money today in GTBIF? Well, demand zone followed by a bull flag. I just can't stress that enough, how important that is. There you go. So you went down to multi-hourly support, and then you formed a bull flag. Now, you might say, well, that doesn't trade a lot. Well, I'll show you with Schwab because it was a lot easier to see the bull flag. Don't ask me why it worked better on Schwab, but there's your bull flag. That's where we bought it. Now, we bought it in here at demand zone, you can call it, but I've seen more people bust out by blindly buying its demand zones. You want to buy and then the consolidation. So somebody asked a good question, where's your profit target? Whether it was this or XBI, that amount, the prior move is your first target, which also coincide with resistance. You saw me buy it, Chart Patterns Mastery in this zone and sell it up here. Now, this is 26% of MSOS. So MSOS we bought. This is another one that we showed a beautiful pattern. I'll show you what we're talking about. Here's MSOS. We were talking about, yeah, it looked like dirt on a daily chart. But we were talking about that rectangle. So we bought here and we bought here. Where did we sell it? We sold it here. And then we were talking about the width of the rectangle. So we're talking about this right here. So your first objective is like about 10 cents, 20 cents, which is where it went. What's the next objective? Well, here we go again. It's all about how it works off its overbought condition. As you see when I'm short-term trading, I'm going to use a MACD. I'm going to use this. I'm not going to use a 50 moving average. I'll use a 20 if you want, or a 21, but it's the ATR trailing stop that's more important. So as you see, here we go again. Went down, worked it off. And how to work it off? By getting overbought. Did it look like a bull flag? No. So now what are we doing? We're watching to see if it can work off that overbought MACD by forming a bull flag. That's why I sold 3/4 of my position. And if it works it off by staying in this zone, darn right, I'll get big again. So darn right, I'll get big again, but I'm not right now. So I was big in here. Now, why would I be big in there? Well, I'll show you why. Because of that on the left. But there was another reason. And this is why conditions change every day. Why was I more inclined to buy in here? Because number one, the stock that's the biggest component held. It had massive support. That's why I was long this and long MSOS. Number two, the whole market is going crazy. The Russell's starting to turn. So this is a day where probably the laggards will start kicking in. That's why we bought it. But conditions change every day. I just can't stress that enough. Every day the conditions change. So when Green Thumb got to support, I doesn't mean to buy it. It means to see if the NASDAQ, if everything's going bonkers, yeah, I'm more likely to buy it. If it had a bull flag, which it did, I'm more likely to trade it big. But this, I only traded 300 shares on Friday. I had 10,000. Now, why would I have 10,000 on Friday? Because this is another pattern when we talk about support and resistance. First, 4-hour charted GTBIF. Look at that support. Prior bottoms, prior in that zone is support. But that doesn't mean to blindly buy it. You're going to bust out in this business if you just buy because something's selling off to demand zone. You want to then combine it with a turn. What's a turn? A turn is, we call it a Stewie pattern. Stewie pattern is this, where you get a sell-off and then you get an inverse head and shoulders followed by a bull flag. That's where you can buy size. You're at support. The whole market was stabilizing and it had an inverse head and shoulders. And that's where we bought size. So we bought 3,000 there. I posted, we sold it here, made our $450, paid for any kind of mistake and other stuff. It's all about how you size it. Look at that. Yeah, that damn right. That's where you buy size. But I didn't have a lot. Instead, I did that a lot. So we're out of 3/4. So just to let you know, Chart Patterns Mastery, we're out of 3/4. So we're long 2,000 in here. So good trade. So now what else do? We look for support followed by consolidation. So are there other ones? Well, let's look. Well, probably the scariest of them all. I posted this one also. So keep in mind, when I get on early, a lot of times I get in too early. So I think you see a mile away where to buy this. I hope you do. So we bought it in here and got stopped right here. We lost all of 60 cents on 10 shares, $6. Look what it did. Look at the bull flag. That's where I posted. We bought more. So we bought it here. Now I'm long it. But the key is that red line was support. So let me go back and show you. There's your support. We've been waiting for that for a long time. Now, it could go to that gap, no doubt. That's why you don't buy it till you see the reversal candle and the bull flag. So there's your support zone, but there's your bull flag. So darn right, I would, I would have liked to buy in here in hindsight. If you buy when it hasn't turned, you just do a starter position. Then when it's a consolidation, then you jump in. So how about on a 15-minute? Has anything changed? Well, it's getting there, but it's not there yet. That's why I'm not in that big yet. Now, if this works off any kind of 5-minute or 15-minute by forming a defined flag like you saw in a 1-minute, guess what? Yeah, I'd go in and I'd go crazy buying it. Now, keep in mind, I was looking at those 135 calls. I was looking at the 130 calls. I'll show you. The problem with this stock, GNRC, so they're talking about heat wave and, it should go up, and it went straight down. The high was the opening. It was pretty ugly. I was looking to buy these. They were 680, the 130s, but they're thin. See on how they're 40-cent wide down here. Wasn't that easy. That's why if you decide to buy stock or buy calls, well, yeah, we could have bought calls in hindsight, but they're pretty wide. So I bought stock instead. So just to let you know, that's how we did it. Now, we also bought XBI. That's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but here you go. Yeah, that's where we bought. We got stopped in here, and we bought again here because of that bull flag. And it's over the ATR trailing stop. Now, that's only a 2-minute. This is pushing it. It's a 5-minute. Where do you get real comfortable? You get real comfortable if it gets over that. And then profit target could go and fill the gap. So just keep that in mind that we're looking at support followed by a reversal pattern, followed by a bull flag. Now, this is day trading. So you see it in here. It never had that structure. Never had that structure. Had the structure here. That's why we bought here. Now, the exciting is, what about here? Not yet. We want to see it look like that. Some kind of bull flag in here. Now, bull flag under the ATR trailing stop's a little scary, but at least you'd have one reason. I broke a bull flag. Got to have something. So that's, as you see, it's no bargain yet. On a 15-minute, it's overbought. I want to see if it works off this overbought down here. Now, this is just a readily available MACD. 310.16. You can use exponential, simple. The whole point is it's overbought. You want to see if it gets down to here and if this retains a bullish structure like that. You're looking for that. You're looking for that bullish structure. You don't want to see it overbought and fall apart. You want to see a tight pattern. So we're in it. Now, we're not in a lot. Believe it or not, I'll get in a lot if it gets above there. So that's how we're trading. I just want to let you know how we're trading about support and demand zones. So that's how I'm doing it. So definitely, are there other support and demand zones? Well, I'll show you. Let's go in hindsight and look at NVIDIA. Support and design, I'm not talking about today. Yeah, believe it or not, I'll look at resistance zones. So you see the resistance zone. The problem is the whole market's looking great, acting great. But you can see it here if you put an hourly chart. Are there demand, support zones? Yeah, heck yeah, there's a support zone right there. Prior tops become support. The problem with this was all gaps. that's a little rough. So, but just keep that in mind, that look for those patterns. Now, I know that's being picky and, but you don't have to trade every second. I just can't stress that enough. So on the way up, yeah, in an uptrend, you're going to see ugly sell-offs that go right to support. Then they form a bull flag. Sell off, support, bull flag. Sell off, same thing. So just that's how we're trying to trade, is trying to take advantage of these support and demand zones. And this is where it gets interesting. So, and I hope if you're in the chart patterns mastery, you're getting in here to see what we're talking about with profit objective. So what I mean by that is, if you go back to GTBIF, I know we were showing this live, and you see this bull flag on a 1 minute, because we're day trading, our objective is either resistance or it's the width of this. That's only 36 cents, but it's liquid. So 36 cents, guess what? Not going to believe it, right here. That's why I sold it here. So 36 cents on 1,000 shares is 300 bucks. 350 bucks. You're buying on the way up. Now, where was the resistance if you go backwards and look? You see it. That's why I have my order here. Right there. So, where could it go now? Well, now you got that nut to crack right there. So I'm going to take this off just because I'm bullish on this long term. The problem is it's overbought now at resistance. I just can't stress enough that you need to combine a lot of factors. And one of them is it's overbought at resistance. So now it's on how it works off that overbought. If it can work it off by being a bull flag, and down here this gets back to zero, then believe it or not, if it gets above that, then it can go up by that move. That gets you up to this area, 1220. So just keep that in mind. I took a profit because I was also long the ETF that includes it. So that's how I did that. Now let's go to another one, XBI, that's been a dog. Remember I said I bought it? So we bought this. So where did we buy it? Well, like I said, we got in too early. My wife always complains about that. I'm talking about trading. Saying, why did you get in back here? Why didn't you wait for the bull flag? I'm like, I had the urge to participate. She's like, well, this is where you buy, Chris. You buy there. What the hell was your problem? So you see where to buy it. That's why we stopped out here. We got back in here. Now I'm looking to get in a lot more. So just keep that in mind. And the whole market's still going up. It's not like the market's crashing. The market's going up. The Russell is going up. And this is forming like a little cup and handle. So where could it go? Well, if it breaks that, here's another objective from there to there. Where's the resistance? The resistance is all the way up here. So you're talking about basically where it closed. It gets over that, you're talking about this is the high today. The close was up here. But do you see the little, we call it either a Stewie pattern here or a big Stewie pattern. So the reason we call it Stewie is because it's an inverse head and shoulders. And if I highlight it and you had mimosas for lunch, it looks like Stewie from Family Guy. At least sort of creative there. I mean, you'd have to do that and do that and do that. Now it looks like Stewie from Family Guy. But the whole idea is you're waiting for that turn. I'm a broken record about waiting for the turn. The turn means it gets over something. and then consolidates. And that's what we did. So we're still in it. So just want to let you know we're still in that. So just keep that in mind. What's the market look like? Well, the markets look like they're going bonkers. Still going bonkers. Nothing bad. That's why we're staying in longs. So right now, we're still in GNRC. Good one. And like I said, if the whole market is going up and it looks like my screens are about to die, you could tell because it's getting jittery. It's done that a lot with Schwab. Once it integrated Thinkorswim and Schwab, so I apologize if it goes down. But the thing is that when you're watching the ES go bonkers, go straight up, then the GNRCs are more likely to hold support. So we're long this, we're long this, we're long this. Now they might not go straight up, but the probability of them going higher goes up dramatically if the whole market's going up. So could we have bought SPX right here? You betcha. I was playing individual stocks instead. Right there. So that's why we're doing that. So that's where we are with these. Definitely that support matters. Also, keep in mind the Russell on Friday was down 37 and the bonds were up 107. So the bonds down, it's time for a rotation. So you see the transport's finally up. And that's the other thing. When you look at support and resistance, I like to look at historical stuff. Like I said, every day is different. Everybody, I bet, I can't even imagine how many on Twitter that you see are talking about the bad advanced decline and the divergences, which I totally get. But the thing is, where it stopped in a mania, because to me, this is the AI mania. It can go on for a long time, these divergences. And usually the divergences do not end with the NDX going down. The divergences end with the other indexes going up. So this is 1999. I was trading. I traded all the way back to 1980. But the key in here is that when this was here, the Russell was down here. So the Russell caught up. So this went up enough. Basically, it's like everybody had so much money, they started buying the laggards. Once the laggards went to an all-time high, that was the top. Believe it or not, that was the top. Right there, March of 2000. So the laggards caught up. So when the laggards catch up, that's usually a sign of the top, not the other way around. So just want to make that clear. So that's basically how we're trading. And XBI is acting like garbage, but we're still in some. And GNRC coming back like a champ. Now you might ask, well, where do we get out if you're in Chart Patterns Mastery and tuned in? It's getting up a resistance. I'm thinking of getting out of some if it gets back to that 135 area. I don't have any calls in there. I wish I did, Mitch, but we have stock. XBI just can't get out of its own way at all. So if it gets over that area, I'll trade it bigger. So that's there are a lot of sectors that are still acting like dirt. So if you're frustrated because you're in some stocks that won't go up, look at that NASDAQ advanced decline. NASDAQ's up 218 and there are more decliners than advancers on the NASDAQ. The ES is up 37. It's all net New York, 33 advancers. What's that mean? It means you better have the right stocks. You better find the stocks that have hit support and are consolidating. I mean, that's all you can do. And what's going to happen, and this happens a lot, and this is just trading, where you get an XBI acting like garbage. And you're like, I'm not staying in overnight. It's acting terrible. And then it gaps up tomorrow to 92. So that happens. It's just going to happen to you. It's bad luck. Do you want to go and do something like above the market for like next week, figuring it'll catch up? You can do that. I'm not sure what I'm going to structure yet. But the key was that it touched support and then consolidated. Every single one that's had a big rally today has hit support and then formed a Stewie pattern. It's great that it happened right when I'm going to be on. I am pretty excited. So you can go through a lot of these. So let's see what hit support and then bounced. Let's see. Let's see McDonald's. Nah, see that's slop. Yeah, well, McDonald's is slop. So you could say here, I guess, but it doesn't have that structure. See the washout? See the pattern you can form? And then there are a ton of little dots where you can form that, a defined trend line with a bull flag. It's amazing how that works. Now, you might say, I don't feel like trading it because the objective was only that on a $200 stock. That's right. The risk reward stunk on a $200 stock. How about Deere? So this stock, if you were trying to buy it, ran away from you. I've been waiting to say that. That's a big move right there. That's 8 points. That is worth jumping on. No, you can make 8 million puns with Deere, but that was worth jumping on because the risk reward was amazing. If you buy there, you're probably risking a point. But if you're right, you make 8 points. So did that hit support? It sure did. And also, as you see, you didn't have to buy support. You didn't have to buy 364. You buy the rally and the consolidation. In hindsight, you see the support. But the good traders buy on the first consolidation. They don't buy on the way down because it's a demand zone. They wait for that consolidation. I just can't stress that enough. So that's how you make it. You buy direction. So you buy support followed by a rally and a consolidation. So I hope that helps. And thanks for being with me. I really hope that helps you. And take care.